Morning, I'm Brent, and welcome to Boas and Balls. I'm going to do a snake rack review because I've had most of these racks. I've had 5 of these racks for 5 years, 4 years, and I've had one of these CB70 racks I've only had for a couple years. I've got 6 in all, and I don't have anything bad to say about them. I really don't. They've held their shape really well. Not really well. They're flat. Every level is flat. 4 years later, each level is flat. You do have to put these together. The CB70s come disassembled. They're pre-drilled though, so they go together really simple. I prefer to do it by hand, so that way you don't take a chance of stripping the screws out. You don't want to strip these screws out. Yes, you can glue them and all that, but trust me, you don't want to, try not to strip these screws out. I prefer to put them in by hand. It's not, you're not going to save but maybe 5-10 minutes by putting them in, by hand. They're real easy. I think the first one took me maybe a half an hour. All the racks after that, I bet it maybe took me 20 minutes to put these CB70 racks together. You do have to buy tubs separately on the CB70 tubs rack. Let's get Snake out. She wasn't real fond of being out yesterday, or I can't say that. She was just a little flopping around. This is Aurora. She is an IMG Hyper Jungle Pastel. But anyway, getting back to these racks. Man, I'm going to throw her around my neck. I'll wait for her to let go. Alright, well, I'll just talk while I'm waiting. Alright, you do have to buy the tubs separately. I use the Freedom Breeder 70 size tubs. I myself prefer the ones that don't have the molded bowls in them already. I prefer a bigger bowl, a bigger soaking area, and I bought the inserts for this is the size bowl, and for the molded bowls tubs that you can get, and I prefer a bigger bowl than that. This is in comparison. This is the bowls I use, and compared to the insert bowl. So that's just and it's easier to putting paper towel in there when you don't have that molded in cup here in the because it's both this far back. I'm right over the bowl, so it's not in the very front. It's like midway, I guess. But I prefer the bigger bowls. But that's on me. I bought, you buy your own tubs. So, but I do like these. I like them a lot. I would put, if you're in a cold area. Oh, and the other thing that I like about these is they're closed in 3 sides. Well, top, bottom, both sides, in the back. They hold a lot more heat. They hold a better humidity too, which that's not an issue here. I live in Maine, so it gets cold here in the wintertime. And I got a blanket. I normally blanket, and you can see I've already done this one. I put blankets over the tops, over the back, down the sides, just to help keep more heat in here. Because what we got in here? We got 72 degrees in this room right now. So, it's not a big deal. I'm telling you, when we had them out in the living room, it got down to 68 degrees out in the living room. Some nights in the wintertime, they were fine. I didn't take them out. I left them right in their rack, but they were fine. Temperatures were great. I honestly think my snakes eat better in the wintertime than they do in the summertime. I think the cooler temperatures, they eat better. They are more in food mode because I don't, like I said, their temperament doesn't ever change. But to me, my snakes eat better with cooler temperatures than in the summertime. In the summertime, I really have to almost kind of entice them more with it. They always eat, but they're not like in that food mode like they are during the wintertime. Wintertimes they really want to eat. She's got my arm wrapped up. Come on, let go of my hand. Alright, so and let me give you dimensions. These are 34 long by 20 wide and 30 and a half tall. I recommend putting your probe, if you're here in a cold state like I am, I recommend putting your probe on the bottom level, because that's really my only, and it's not really a complaint, because if I had just gone and put my probe on the bottom, it would have been, better. But I watched a lot of videos and everybody was saying they put their probe on the middle rack, which is fine, but my bottom tub fluctuates almost 2 degrees from what this tub is. So I actually have to have this about a degree, about 91 degrees. I got it set so my hot spot in this tub is 91 degrees to make this one 89 degrees for this one. So I recommend, if you're in a cold spot, a cold area, you live where it's cold in the wintertime or whatever, use that bottom tub for your probe, because then heat rises. So as long as this is warm enough, the rest of them will be fine. What's happening is, like I said, I'm getting a temperature drop down here on this bottom one. And you'll find, if you have multiple snakes like I do, I have a couple snakes in there in the bottom levels already that prefer it cooler than the rest of my snakes. So I just stick those snakes down in the bottom level. But I would, if you live in a cold area, put your probe in the bottom rack, your bottom tub, and you won't have any issues. But get yourself a heat gun, check your hot spot. This is a heat gun, and I know a lot of you people know what a heat gun is. This is a heat gun, and check your hot spot. You can see I've got gauges on a lot of mine. I've got humidity and temperature gauges. They don't come with the racks. You have to buy those separate. But I really wish you'd just get around my neck. So that's about it for these. You do have to, like I said, you do have to buy the tubs for these. You do have to assemble them, but they're quick. All right, let's get on to the VE6 racks. And I do like these racks. These are very versatile. These are 3-in-1 rack. As you can see, you can have this size tub or this size tub in these racks. And they also have another size tub that is half the size of this. So you can have 18 real small tubs in this, or you can have 12 this size. She's squeezing my hand. Or you can have 6 this size. She's squeezing my neck. Or you can have 6 this size. Which these are 23 quart or 23 liter. I believe these are 11 or 12 liter. I don't know what the small ones are because I don't have any of them. And like I said, they're half the width of this rack, right down the middle. So you can actually have like 3. And I mean, those are great for babies, but this size is what I use for my babies, and they all done great. I mean, even little Peanut, which she's tiny. She's in blue. And this one's got my nap. Alright, girl, okay. Alright, we'll put her back. And I'm gonna pause this because I've learned she'll take up 20 minutes of filming of me trying to put her back. Those great eyes she's got. And then we'll get back on this rack. Okay, here we go with that. All right, these come totally assembled. And you get to, like I said, you get to pick from 3 different tub sizes, and you can mix and match these tub sizes also. You don't have to, they'll let you go and get, say, 4 of these, and then and then 3 of these, or 2 of those rather, to equal the 6 levels, or you can get 3 of the small ones. They're really good about that. Oh, let me tell you, the CB70 racks right now are going for $370. Those CB70 racks, $370 a piece. You do have to buy tubs separate, but I think I had $108 and it is what it cost me for 5 tubs. I'm pretty sure, that's what I paid, was like $108 for 5 70 size tubs. Okay, back to these. These racks right now are going for $264. And mind you, if you go on Reptile Basics website, they have a scratch and dent sale, which it's literally just that. They'll have maybe a scratch in the top or on one of the side panels, or there'll be like just a ding in the plastic. It doesn't affect them whatsoever working wise. And a lot of times I think the VE6 can be anywhere from $50 to $75 off these racks when they have the scratch and dent sale going on them. And when they have the CB70s, those are normally $100 off if they've got anything that's what they call damage. But everything, I've gotten one out of the scratch and dent, and it was just as nice as the other racks that I got working wise. The other ones didn't come with any scratches because they come with a plastic film on them that you have to peel off, a protective coating, which is really nice, and don't forget to pull that off. They do have a protective coating on them. It's hard to see it. But like I said, these come fully assembled. These ones you do not have to put together. All the heat tape and everything's already in it. I'll give you the dimensions on these. These are 23 long by 16.5 wide and 30 inches tall from top to bottom. They are stackable, and it's just too cold here. I don't want to. It's a pain in the ass. I did have them on top of each other on the floor, and the tubs that are on the floor, I'm too old for that shit. I'm too old for climbing around on my fucking knees, so I've got mine up on tables. Luckily, I don't have that many, snakes, so it's not that big of a deal. But I have no complaints, and as you can see, nice and flat. Each level is nice and flat. No bowing, no sagging. The heat tape's held up great. 4 years later, same heat tape. It's got recessed heat tape in, so your tubs aren't sliding across it, going in and out. It's actually got, I think it's recessed about 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch anyway, 3/16 of an inch rather, 3/16 to 1/4, I'd say. So when you slide the tubs in and out, it's not touching the heat tape whatsoever. Yeah, it's just, like I said, I recommend if you're in a cold area, cold state, or you have cold times, in the wintertime, use that bottom tub for your probe, and then you won't have any issues. Get yourself a heat gun. Yes, this one's not on because I have another, there it is, I don't know where I'm pointing, another Herbistat 6 up there in the corner that runs all 6 of these racks. That's a backup, or I guess in the beginning I thought maybe I was gonna have more racks. I like to have, you can stack these and I could run 2 racks off 1 probe, but I prefer not to do that. I like 1 probe, 1 rack myself. You know, and there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. I know plenty of breeders do it. I just, you know, I'm small enough that I don't have to try to, you know, save money there. And, you know, when you've got a lot of snakes and a lot of animals to feed, you try to save money where you can. I must move that for something. Yeah. I really don't have anything bad to say about these racks. These racks are awesome. I do have, you know, like I said, I like to keep up to about 1,000-gram snake in these 23 quarts. I do have a couple snakes that do not like, she does not like the CB70 size tub. So I put her in there and she went off food for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. And for me, 2-3 weeks is enough for me to realize that, you know, something's wrong, especially when she ate every 2 weeks. Boom, boom, boom. You know, and I gave her plenty of time. You know, I didn't go, oh, give her a week and go, oh, I need to put her back. No, I gave her like 3 weeks. You know, after 3 weeks of her supposed to have eaten, and she didn't eat. Throw back in that 23 quart, 23 liter, and she's back on pounding food. Some snakes do not like big spaces. Some snakes do not like big spaces. Most of the time, ball pythons do not like big open spaces. If your ball python is constantly roaming in your tank, it's not because it wants to be held. It's not because it wants to come out. It's stressed. A happy ball python is a hiding ball python. People need to realize that. I know I was like that in the beginning too, going, oh, it must be because Cleo wants to come out and wants to be held. And then when I took her out, she was constantly trying to get away from me even. I mean, constantly, like, I'd have to keep pulling her back. You know, and it didn't dawn on me. I had a friend of mine that's had snakes and said, look, I'm telling you, she's not happy in that enclosure. Put her in a tub and you'll see everything will change. She'll go back on food. She was off food for 6 months. And she had been in that enclosure her whole life. If you go back, you'll see. I've got a whole video on Cleo in a great big enclosure. And then I put her in that CB70 and she's eating like clockwork. She eats every 3 weeks a large rat. 3 weeks to a month. Every 3 weeks to a month, a large rat, and she pounds it. I mean, pounds it every meal. She has never refused in the 3 years that she's been in that CB70 tub. You know, and she was supposedly in that other enclosure her whole life, and I got her when she was 8 years old, and they had her in that 2x4x2 enclosure since she was a baby, and said she ate good and all that. And I got her and I took pictures. I set it up exactly the way they had it. Minus I had belly heat. All they had was light heat. They had lights in there, and ball pythons don't want lights. They don't like lights either. You know, yes, some might do okay with them, but honestly, they prefer not to have lights. They don't come out during the day. They come out at night. They hunt at night. You know, ball pythons don't need light. I see that all the time. See, that's how chill they are. I can have an oops moment and they just don't care. You know, but yeah, ball pythons do not need light. And anybody that tells you that, they don't know nothing. They haven't done any research. I just see a video the other day and they're going, oh, ball python. Lighting is for you. And people need to stop doing what you like. Because what you like, a lot of times, isn't what these guys like. I'm telling you. They're not a dog. They're not a cat. You know, they they're really seclusive. You know, they like to be by themselves for the most part. You know, it's just some snakes. If they feel like they're out in the open, they won't even. They'll be just stressed the whole time. Some snakes just don't want to be seen. That's why a happy ball python is a hiding ball python. People need to get that through their head. A roaming around ball python is a stressed ball python. And it doesn't mean that they're stressed to the point they're going to bite you, because Cleo, I had her in that enclosure for a year here, and I put belly heat in there. Like you said, she had no heat. I set it up the way it was supposed to be, humidity spot on, and she went off food for 6 months. And I threw her in that CB70 tub, and 2 years later, she's never skipped a meal. And now when I take her out, she's not running. She doesn't try to get away from me. Just like this one. This one's not trying to get away. Can you see that? The snakes are not trying to get away. They're moving around, but they're not trying to get away. Because they they don't care. They're not stressed. This is Storm. She is a butter Mojave. Possible banana. She's got beautiful blue eyes. I don't know if you can pick them up. Probably not, because I'm in front of the light. Anyway, we'll put her back. But that was my little rock review. And I gave you the size tubs and where I got my tubs. Reptile basics. Just what I did is I googled I googled snake rack, and boom, reptile basics, and that's where I got these. They say vivarium electronics on them, but they're reptile basics rack. Triple L Reptiles also sells them. I mean, a lot of places sell these same racks, but I went through Reptile Basics. So, and shipping wasn't bad. I think shipping, like I said, $264, and I think it's $25 shipping. So you're gonna have about $300 for these, and I don't remember if shipping was included with a CB70. It might be $25 like it is here, but these are like flat shipment, and you do have to put them together, and you do have to buy tubs separate, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. Wait time, I did not look at lead time, because that's the other thing. It was pretty good. I mean, back when I first bought these, there was a month. There was a month lead time, but I think things have gotten back to normal now. I'm pretty sure it's only maybe 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks lead time. That was the other thing that I did like, because I say 30-day lead time. Back then, everybody else was 2 months, 3 months lead time, so it was still pretty good, And like I said, I still got them within like a month, So they were really good about, they told me when I would receive them, what time frame I would receive them in, and I did. They hit that mark, so I was totally happy. I'm still really happy. I really wanted to shoot this video because I know a lot of people, we get something new and we go, oh, that's awesome, and then because it's new, new to us. And then a month later, we go, oh, shit, man, I wish this was different. I wish that was different, Honestly, I love these racks. These racks are awesome. They're affordable. I mean, I don't want to spend $3,000 on a rack that then I need to close in the sides and the back. And, these right out of the box. Well, these ones aren't right out of the box. You do have to assemble them. But once you assemble them, they're pretty much, you just got to check your temps. you know, regularly, you hot spot, and I mean, they're simple. They're really simple, but that's not why I use them just because they're simple. It's because it's what's best for the snakes that I have. I do what's best for them, not what I want and what I like. Yeah, that's the way wrong attitude about having animals. If you're just gonna do what you think's right and not what's right for the animal, you should not have an animal. You shouldn't have any animals. And I'll go back to say it all the time because people go, "Oh, that person's dog doesn't mind, doesn't listen." I go, "I'll show you a person that's their kids act the same way." My dog minds. My kids are awesome. Never been in jail. Not that if a kid's been in jail that makes him bad. Hey, I've been in prison myself, so I'm not saying, but I'm just saying my kids have never seen half of what I seen because I was a responsible parent. Just didn't just let my kids go and do whatever. Same thing with my dog. I don't just let him do whatever, and that's why my friends invite us over. They tell us to bring the dog because they know I won't come anyway without my dog. So, but he's good. That's why. You know, my kids were good. My snakes are good. Although I don't have to reprimand my snakes. But anyway, there you go. That's my 4-year snake rack review. I don't have anything bad to say. The only thing I would do is I would put my probe on the bottom level. That's all. That's the only thing that I would probably change. You know, mine are on paper towel. I get full sheds. Like, you know, people say, "Oh yeah, paper towels." You know, people on paper towels don't have good sheds. I get phenomenal sheds. You know, and I don't spot clean. I clean when they go. You know, that's why I like paper towel because it's easy to tell when they've gone, and I don't spot clean. I didn't spot clean my kids when my kids were in diapers. I didn't spot clean and put a dirty diaper back on them. No, I clean my snakes right that day when they go. I don't wait. No, I'm not a spot cleaner. But I don't have 200 snakes. I don't have 300 snakes. I don't have 1,000 snakes. You know, so. But there we go. That's my snake rack review. Thank you for all the new subs, and thank you for the comments, and thank you for the likes. Because without the comments and likes, I feel like nobody, you know, it's not really even worth shooting if nobody's getting anything out of them, you know. Because I'm by far no expert. I'm just a guy, you know, that loves animals and figures if any of my experiences can help somebody else out, if I can help one other person, you know, out, that's worth shooting these videos. But the comments and the likes definitely make it, you know, to where I feel like shooting again. Because I feel like somebody's getting something out of it, and it's not just me standing here, you know, flapping at the friggin' gums. And because I really don't like being on camera, I will say that I'm the least favorite. I probably have less photos of me in circulation than any other person out there. And for me to shoot these videos, it's very strange. But I do like showing my animals off, so that's also worth it too. But anyway, have a great day and have a great week. Today's going to be beautiful here. I'm going to head out on the bike. So remember, if you can't be good at it. Cheers, everybody.